Stick-to-stick disarms. In this video I'm going to show you one of the stick-to-stick disarms that I teach in Full Circle on East Toronto, as well as a stick versus empty hand disarm that I teach in Full Circle on East Toronto. But before I show those, let's talk about stick disarms. Now, in reality, it's going to be very rare that you ever have a rattan stick in your hand and are confronted by someone that also has a rattan stick. The only time there may be a rattan stick against a rattan stick confrontation would be in stick sparring. But this is not stick sparring. This is the reality of the street. Now, it is commonly taught as an angle 2, and this is what we're going to focus on in this video, an angle 2 disarm. It is commonly taught that when your opponent comes with an angle 2 disarm, you would use what is called a brace block or a reinforced block. Place the back of the hand on the back of their hand, bring it down, around, catch it. Now, when I'm teaching this disarm, I like to strike once I'm on the inside because I have to worry always about the secondary weapon, which in this case is his empty hand, but it could be a blade. So I strike first to shut that brain down so he doesn't think about striking with that other hand. Strike first, I can strike that elbow, break that elbow or hyperextend the elbow, raise your elbow, so you do a disarm or a snake disarm, and then if necessary, off balance my opponent and strike only if necessary. Now, let's look at that disarm though for a moment. No one is going to, if it does an angle 2, is going to stop. He is stopping. If you practice this way, this is not reality. Because no one is going to just stop. There is no difference of teaching this in Filipino martial arts where you're stopping. No difference between someone doing a reverse punch, pausing, and letting you do all kinds of fancy techniques on it. It's not reality. In reality, his angle 2 would be either retracted. So if he retracts and hits me with angle 2, I can't disarm that. If he uses a full power backhand strike and I try to block it, full power, he goes right through it. That's reality. So, don't expect or don't practice what is not reality. Spend your time practicing what is function. I put all my disarms through a test, and if they didn't pass that test, I no longer taught them in that manner. I respect the way I was taught these disarms, but they had to evolve. They have to be functional. Whatever I teach my students, if their life's on the line, I want what I'm teaching them to at least be functional if they practice regularly. Well, let's take that disarm. Now, he strikes at that angle 2. I don't do this. I do not practice reinforced or braced blocks because you can feel the vibration. Hit me hard, hit me hard. Go ahead. I can feel that. My hand is vibrating right now. So don't do this. Now, if he comes at angle 2, I can punch it out. See? But see how he naturally retracted? It didn't stay there. I would punch it out. Then I would just hit him. Okay? That's what I would do in real life. Or if he came in with an angle 2, I would just hit that hand. From go slow, I would hit that hand. Defang the snake. That's reality. That's a disarm. That is a real world disarm. And after I defang that snake, now I have the option of following up if necessary. But you have to know your laws. So what do we do with this disarm? Well, now I'll show you. Empty hand against stick disarm. We're going to practice the same movements so you can learn from the movements. If John sets up, okay, switches leads, he's going to come in with an angle 1 in the street. Someone's attacking me with an impact weapon. He comes at me with that angle 1, I have to get out of the way. Come at me full power. Out of the way for that first one, because remember the angle 1 is going to be that very powerful strike. Okay? So you have to get out of the way. Get out of the way. Now when he comes with a 2, here's where I jam. Now, my arm is the stick. I would break that arm, or I would hyperextend that arm. And the same movement as the stick, I will pass that arm. Make sure you get that leg out of the way. I will pass that arm, and then I'll punch him in the face. Whether you want to punch in the face, whether you want to palm in the face, whether you want to elbow, your choice. Here, I punch. Now, I punch because he has another weapon right here. No one's going to not use this other hand. Okay? You can reach to grab, you can punch, you can strike, you can pull out another weapon. Okay, so you have to strike, shut that brain down. Now I hyperextend or break that arm, and I can either clear and toss that weapon, or I can take the weapon myself as I snake. Now I'm set up in position. Use your forearm, off balance your opponent, and strike if necessary.